welcome to Getting to Good Enough, a podcast to help you let go of perfectionism so you can do more of what you love. I'm Shannon Wilkinson, a life coach in Portland, Oregon. I am a recovering perfectionist who's getting better at good enough.
And I'm Janine Adams, a certified professional organizer in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm lucky enough to be naturally good at good enough.
And today we are talking about flexibility.
Hey Shannon, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great too. I have to say it's like spring in St. Louis, actually, because it's 84 degrees, so that's like spring in St. Louis. But it's lovely. I like warm weather, so the flowers are blooming and it's warm, and even though we had snow over the weekend. And
That is so weird.
So weird, but spring makes me happy.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're having a beautiful spring day too, but it's only 64, and we haven't had snow recently.
Well, yeah, that's good. I think...
but it is sunny blue sky.
Yes. Like, if we split the difference, I think a sunny blue sky 74 would be perfect.
Oh, that would be perfect.
But I'd rather have 84 than 64. Not you, though.
No. I'm down with the 64. But I'm funny that way.
Yeah, you wimp.
Yeah. But also, I'm running a little hot these days, so...
I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually just have on a short sleeve t-shirt right now.
Wow.
That's it. And I have on pants. I felt I needed to qualify that statement after it popped out of my mouth.
And I'm in leggings and a long sleeve tunic.
That's funny.
Yeah, we're funny that way.
Yeah. Well, but you know what?
What?
We're flexible.
That's right. We sure are. We've been really flexible lately.
Yes. We have had to be very flexible with a lot of things podcast related lately.
Yes, and I appreciate your flexibility because I think I'm the one who's been throwing wrenches in the works lately.
Oh, so I don't know. It's a little of both of us.
Yeah,
so.
Maybe.
I think that's the thing is that, this is a labor of love, and it has to fit into our life, and we love to make room for it because it's so fun to do.
Right, exactly. All of those things are true. But the nice thing is neither of us is caught up in making sure we do it exactly the same way every week.
Right.
Yeah. So that way when things happen, like, my getting stuck wherever I was stuck, trying to get home from Charlotte. Where was I stuck?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Nashville,
right.
Because I told you to look for Deacon.
Oh, and I did not see him. But
you didn't see Deacon?
The idea that I might see him made my whole little stay in Nashville better.
Yeah. Did I tell you that I think I told you this before, but it bears repeating. I had a client who was flying home from Nashville, and Deacon and Scarlett were there.
On the plane?
Yes.
Yes, you told me that, and I think of it every time I fly through Nashville, which since I live in St. Louis, I fly through Nashville fairly often on Southwest. So yes, wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh my gosh!
Because they have rows of 3 there, so you
could you imagine sitting in between Deacon and Scarlett?
Do you suppose everybody knows what we're talking about?
I just was thinking that no one probably knows what we're talking about.
Oh, I think some people do. I was just listening to the soundtrack from the TV show Nashville today when I was driving.
Oh, were you?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Listening to Scarlett and Deacon sing.
That's so nice.
Yes.
That I actually started making that be my what's it called when my body double TV show.
Oh, I thought maybe you were watching Nashville. That's excellent.
Because I'm watching it on your Hulu, so you can see.
Yeah, exactly. But who's watching Nashville? It's certainly not Barry. But I want to watch it again. I was thinking when I was listening to the music today, I was thinking I'd like to watch the whole thing again. So I might get you screwed up. So keep track of where you are. We have to keep track of where we are.
I could also just make my own
profile. Go for it.
Yeah, but anyway, it's the TV show Nashville, which is no longer on, but can be watched on Hulu, and you don't have to like country music to enjoy it.
Correct. I'm not a big country music person, and I love it, and I love the music. I love that show.
Yeah. It's quite good. Right. It's a good, sort of a soap opera, nighttime soap opera with Connie Britton, who's amazing, and I was going to say Chip Eston, but he goes by Charles now, doesn't he?
Yes.
Who plays Deacon Claybourne.
Who's very, very easy on the eyes.
Yes. Just charming all around.
Just love him.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
okay,
anyway.
We got off the rails. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Deacon some more.
I know. This might be one of our longest tangents ever. Anyway, we have had to have a lot of flexibility recently, which can be difficult for people who struggle with perfectionism because, one of the hallmarks of perfectionism is being rigid with your expectations and your standards.
Mm-hmm. And when things don't go according to plan, it can be upsetting. Yeah.
Yep. And so, flexibility becomes really important, and it can be difficult, but I think there are ways to sort of practice flexibility, like we talked about last week, different ways to practice good enough in your life. There are different ways to practice being more flexible.
What would be an example of that?
Well, you probably, it seems like maybe I should have had an example ready.
I thought maybe you did.
I didn't. And I hoped one would come falling out of my mouth, but it didn't.
It didn't, okay.
Well, so, it's always, when you're practicing things like this, when you're sort of experimenting and getting comfortable with a different way of doing things, it's good to start with low stakes situations. Do you have an idea?
Well, a thought that just popped to mind would be to be willing to not set the time that you're going out to dinner until closer to the, being flexible about when you might go. I think about in my family, I tend to be the one who wants the date and the time in the calendar, and my husband is the one who's like, let's play it by ear. And
well, that's interesting.
And he's the perfectionist, but it's about, for him, it's about keeping his options open. I'm sure,
right.
I'm sure there's lots of NLP words around that, but
yes.
Right. So I don't know if that's an example or not, but although I consider myself pretty flexible, but I might be fooling myself. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're trying to meet a need there with that particular sort of idea, that sort of rigidity, I guess. I mean, it's not super rigid, it's just your preference. But, sort of practicing with, on the edge of your discomfort there is a way to expand your flexibleness, your flexibility, flexibleness. Oh my God.
Right. I like the way you said that. Did you say practicing on the edge of it? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So, practice on your edge of discomfort. So it's not like you need to okay, I'm just from here on out, I'm not going to insist on having that on the calendar ahead of time. Because that's too much. That's too big of a step. But if you think about what's comfortable, and you notice the point at which you're getting a little uncomfortable about it, and then noticing that and then sort of considering, like, would it be okay if we waited a little longer? And just kind of checking in with yourself and increasing your self-awareness around that.
Wow, that sounds good. That sounds like what is the word? That sounds like it takes a lot of thought.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is a very conscious way of doing it. But if you just sort of pick one thing, then it's not something you have to do all the time about everything.
Right.
But you could just use this as a way to practice this, getting, flexing your flexibility muscle. And so you could just do it with this one thing as an example. But the other things I'm thinking about, like one thing that I've done is I have an uncanny ability to spot typos. Oh,
in your own work or everyone's work?
In mostly other people's work.
Yeah, right.
Right?
They jump right out at you when there's somebody else's, yes.
Yeah. And even, I might see a typo, but to let it go, which feels really uncomfortable. And I think, does this matter?
I like it.
In the whole scheme of things? No. I mean, yeah, sure. It's not technically, and I'm doing big finger quotes, right. And it doesn't really matter.
Are you talking about other people's typos or your own?
Both.
So if it's somebody else's typo, what would you do about it? If you could do,
depending
if you
on
to do something.
Depending on the situation, I may tell them. But then, I might go to the effort to say, hey, I noticed a typo. But I think about, like, how critical is this thing? Is it a blog post that, is sort of here and gone? Or is it, is this somebody's manuscript that's going to be a printed book?
Right. Or is it a newsletter that can't be corrected anyway?
Right.
Right.
Or is it a book that's already printed that, like the newsletter, it's already done and there's not much you could do about it.
Right. I have the same experience with correcting people's grammar when they're speaking, because I know it's a jerky thing to do. So I try really hard not to do it, but I notice it. And I just happened the other day where my dad, who is a stickler on grammar and does correct people, which is rude, he said something that was grammatically incorrect, and I didn't correct him. I was proud of myself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a great thing to do. And then you realize, like, oh, nothing bad happened.
That's right. It did not have any impact on anything.
Yeah. Although I did take great pleasure in when my grammar got corrected once, and the person who was correcting my grammar was wrong in correcting them on their incorrect correction.
That'll teach them.
Yeah.
Because that is deserved. That second correction was deserved.
Yeah. Because I had, I said, here's a picture of me and Mike. And she said, I can't believe you said that. It's Mike and I. And I said, no, it's not. Because I would never say, here's a picture of I.
Did she back right down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a great example of, those things that sort of like jump out at you and don't really matter.
Right. Those are good ways to practice. Because it's really beneficial, in my opinion, to be flexible. I think it makes life easier. The more flexible.
Right.
I mean, if you can be flexible about lots of things.
Yeah, and there intrinsically there's nothing wrong with having high standards.
Right.
It's just when you're very rigid about those standards and don't feel comfortable being flexible when you need to be flexible, whether because of outside forces or because of your own, sort of energy, time, whatever availability to meet those standards, that's when it's a problem. That's when perfectionism becomes a problem.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I'm thinking about, like, my field of organizing. I think as a general rule, organizers have high standards and are pretty rigid about many aspects of them, like punctuality and not canceling appointments. Like, you're not going to forget an appointment and just not show up if you want to stay in business.
Right.
So that kind of rigidity is important, but building in flexibility if the client wants to change what we were going to work on, or has to cancel because of illness or something, that's going to keep you sane if you and in business is having that flexibility, right?
Exactly. And that's where I think flexibility is so important. And the example that we've talked about off and on throughout, I think, the entire duration of this podcast that we've been doing it is cleaning the kitchen at my house.
Right.
But that's a really great example of where allowing flexibility with my standards for how the kitchen gets cleaned creates an environment that is what's the word I want? That I prefer, that is more enjoyable than if I insisted on, maintaining these very rigid standards of what I thought was the right way to clean the kitchen.
Right. Yeah. Being flexible in your standards, and you lowered them to not getting botulism or something like that, right?
I think that is what I lowered them to.
Right. Yeah, I think that is a really good example of that, because before you had kids, you wouldn't have, your standards were quite high and things were always washed very well.
Yeah. Well, and I was the person that was responsible for meeting those standards.
Right.
So,
it made it easy. Yeah.
It was easy. But trying to impose my standards on other people is where I needed to have that flexibility.
Right. And that just made me think about how in our house, I never have to wash pots and pans because Barry's standards are so high and I don't meet them.
Yeah.
So he, instead of being flexible, he just does it himself. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Maybe you could be bad at other things too.
Oh, believe me,
what
I
else
am.
do you not want to do around the house?
Right, exactly. I got that. We're all worked out. But
luckily, Barry is probably not going to hear this episode.
That's right. This would be the one he listens to, probably. I don't think he's listened to any of them because he's a perfectionist and he sees no reason to entertain the idea that that's not perfect.
Right, yeah. That's not exactly how everyone should be.
Right,
always.
Yes, exactly. It all works out. But yeah, that's interesting. So in his case, his inflexibility has led to always having to wash the pots and pans. But I mean, he never ever complains about it or anything. I mean, it's fine.
Well, and so, but that is also a form of flexibility because usually he prepares and you were cleaning up, but he does this part. He is being flexible on that because he wants it done a certain way, but he's not imposing that on you. Right.
Yep, it's actually quite good. And I do clean up when he prepares. I just don't wash the pots and pans. I do the other stuff.
Right.
And if I prepare, he does the pots and pans, of course, as well as cleaning up the other stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So the idea that if one can be flexible, you can still have high standards, but if you're flexible in them, you can just go about life a little bit easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that
is somebody vacuuming at your house, by the way?
No, someone is mowing. Not even my yard. It's the neighbors.
So we have a second lawnmower episode.
I was going to say we have a second lawn mowing episode.
I just wanted to make it clear that the lawn mowing wasn't happening at my house.
No, it's here. And I saw him fire that up, and I was like, it's electric. Maybe it won't be that loud.
Oh.
Yeah, it's still loud.
Yeah. Oh, well. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Sorry. That's okay. Well, I have to apologize to our listeners. So, becoming aware of where you have these high standards is the first step. Like, generally, even people who are, pretty hardcore in their perfectionistic tendencies aren't generally that way about everything. But so, becoming aware of a couple of places in your life where being rigid about your standards is problematic for you would be really helpful. And then figuring out some ways that you can bring some flexibility into it would be useful.
Makes a lot of sense. And probably thinking about why it's important to you to perhaps be more flexible in those standards would be helpful.
Yeah. It's interesting that what just came to mind was my new bike. Ironically. It's not ironic, but whatever it is.
Notice I didn't interrupt you and say,
today.
I didn't interrupt you and say, no, it's not ironic, Shannon. That's not
the word. You're like, yeah.
What about your bike?
My bike. I'm sorry. I just got my mind went off on the. Have you seen is it Alanis Morissette who did the song Isn't It Ironic, where in fact nothing that she says is actually ironic?
Oh, right.
Yeah, and she does a new version of it with maybe James Corden or someone, or like Jimmy Fallon, or I don't know, so one of those like late night hosts. But the whole gist of it is that none of it is ironic. It's not actually ironic. It's pretty entertaining. Anyway, my bike. I remember being frustrated about not being able to do the things that I wanted to do. I had this standard about what counted as, a worthwhile outdoor activity. And, and I was feeling frustrated about not being able to do the things that I really wanted to do instead of, being happy about the things that I can do. And figuring out how to meet that, adjust my standards and be flexible about what counts is what led me to get that bike, which I love. And I'm actually getting sort of a lot of the feelings that I associated with like running and not necessarily mountain climbing, but like I'm getting those feelings that I was missing. Like, I'm getting the thrill of being out and moving fast and going places under my own power, even though I have a little motor that helps me.
Right. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So, that being flexible about how to get at where I wanted helped me come up with this new solution, which has been wonderful. Well,
that's great. There you go. And when we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, we added a picture of your bike in the show notes, and folks, if they haven't seen it, might want to look at it, because that's a beautiful picture you took, and it's a lovely looking bike. Made me want to ride it.
You can ride it when you come to town.
Okay, I would love to do that. I bet I have not ridden a bike since the 80s.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, you might find out that you really like it.
I might.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll be buying an e-bike. Who knows?
Yeah, it's super fun. Huh. And there's something about it that feels much more stable and safe than any other bike I've ridden. And I think part of it is the motor. Like, I feel like without a whole lot of effort, I can react quickly to anything, like out on the road or whatever. Like, I don't know. And I think it's more mindset than actual
reality.
Yeah, than reality. But anyway, but that's just another example of how being flexible with my standards and how to meet my standards is useful.
Right, and it occurs to me that that kind of flexibility helps you, or one, stay with things. I mean, we've talked before about creating new habits, and if you fail to do something, sometimes you just abandon it. But if you can be flexible in what counts, or just cut yourself a little break and go start up again the next day, or the next week or whatever, that flexibility can really help. And of course, I was thinking of my yoga practice because of the word flexible.
I was thinking of your yoga practice too.
Yeah, I was literally reminded of it because of the word flexible, because I'm trying to get more flexible, but physically, right? Yeah, but yeah. So like this weekend when we were in Charlotte, there was no carpeting where we were staying, literally none, and I didn't want to do yoga on the floor, and I didn't bring a mat, so I didn't do any. But as soon as I got home. Monday, even after all the 24 hours of travel or whatever, I was back to it. In fact, I did a nice long session, and it was great.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Hopped right back.
But yeah, you've had a lot of flexibility in terms of allowing yourself to stick with the practice regardless of the situation you're in, which means sometimes not doing it.
Right. I think it helped that I was able to do it every day for a couple of months. I think it was maybe 3 months I did it, or maybe 2, whatever it was, without fail. And it really felt like it got in my bones or whatever, and allowed me to really enjoy the benefits of it. So, I feel good about the fact that not doing it for however many days in a row that was, like 3 or 4, I still was able to just get right back into it and didn't even hesitate. Although I did write myself a little note, a little welcome home note, and on the top of it was things to remember this week, and the first thing was yoga. The second thing was taxes. Actually extension, tax extension. Yeah. But I think that flexibility in my standards with yoga has been really beneficial for me. And also I, can vary the length of time the video that I select based on the available time, and I'm not locking myself into it. Oh, it has to be 30 minutes or it doesn't count or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But that seems like that has really made a huge difference in your ability to create and stick with this habit.
Yes, without a doubt. It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. And sort of, I have this 30 by 30 genealogy challenge going on my blog right now, and I stated in it that I didn't think I'd be able to do 30 minutes a day every day because of my crazy schedule, but that I hope to cumulatively do like 900 minutes over the course of 30 days. But I stated in it what I really wanted to commit to doing was doing just something every day with the genealogy. And so I have. Just making that statement allowed me to, it was enough for me to really want to do it. And some days it was very little. My standards were very flexible. But I feel really good about the fact that at least, it's my challenge, so I feel like I want to live up to it, that I have done genealogy, a little something at least every day, and then some days a lot more than a little. So it's very flexible.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really great.
And I'm getting more flexible with yoga. Literally, I mean, it's great. I can actually, I'm stronger. It's very nice. And I can sit cross-legged a little bit.
Ooh, don't do it too long.
Oh, were you sitting cross-legged? It was cross-legged sitting that your leg fell asleep and you injured yourself?
Yes.
I thought you were sitting on your legs. I mean, I figured you were sitting...
No, I was sitting cross-legged.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't imagine sitting that long cross-legged so that my leg fell asleep. Huh.
Yeah, like I said, I blame it on the elections.
Right.
I started reading stuff it was on election day, and I started reading stuff about it, and then an hour and a half later, I was like, oh my God, I have to move.
Wow, you sat cross-legged for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I will take that to heart, Shannon. Don't you worry.
Okay, good.
I can do it for like 2 minutes, so I don't think I'm in any danger here.
Yeah, well, and I haven't sat cross-legged again.
I don't blame you.
Not because I purposefully haven't, but because I can't.
Oh, right.
But anyway, yeah, it's amazing how when you start introducing a little flexibility, like how much more fun things can be.
Right, I agree. It's more fun going with the flow sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love that idea of setting up the ability to be flexible in advance. And, we've talked about that, like, how to get back on track recently. And this is sort of that thing, like planning ahead for what counts and what you'll do if you don't meet your expectation, and building in all of those things adds to your flexibility and how well you are able to do the things that you really want to do. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we're after here is, perfectionism can keep you from doing the things you want to do because you think you can't meet your high standards, or, that something bad will happen or whatever. And so being flexible lets you do more of what you want to do.
Yes, we want to help you let go of perfectionism so you can do more of what you love.
Yay! Yeah, so I guess that's the thing I sort of want to leave people with is be wary of having high standards about what flexibility means too.
Right.
Like it's really easy to sort of get into black or white thinking on any of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And so allowing yourself flexibility in your flexibility can be really useful.
That's meta.
Yeah.
But that's a very good point.
Yeah. So it's another way to practice.
Right.
At good enough.
Excellent.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about flexibility?
No, I don't think so. I'm glad that I'm a flexible person, or at least I feel I'm a flexible person. I wonder if my husband would disagree, but yeah, flexibility has helped me, I believe. And again, I appreciate your flexibility with our scheduling snafus in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, of course. It's my pleasure. And I feel like I think there are things that I'm rigid about, but I think I've generally have realized that it's much more pleasant to be flexible.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. All right. Well, so we want to hear from you. Do you have areas where you struggle to be flexible? Are there places where you would like to be more flexible but aren't sure how to go about doing it? You can let us know by leaving a voicemail at 413-424-GTGE. That's 4843. You can also head over to gettingtogoodenough.com and leave a comment on the show notes, or click through to any of our social media profiles and let us know there. But for now, I am Shannon Wilkinson in Portland, Oregon.
And I'm Janine Adams in St. Louis, Missouri.
And we hope that good enough is getting easier for you. I feel like stretching now. I think I want to be more physically flexible.